Welcome everyone to Mail Fuzz News. I am Peter, that is Tara. This is the rare Monday edition of the news because there's some news from Friday and a couple of things from the weekend to talk about. Some movie stuff, a few TV things, but mostly movies. So we'll start things off with some Indiana Jones 5 casting. Not that I'm super familiar with the people that I'm about to tell you about, but Boyd Holbrook from The Resident and Boyd Holbrook and from The Resident, Shawnette Renee Wilson are going to co-star opposite Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones 5. Everything's very secretive as to, you know, what the plot is or who they're playing, but yes, it's happening is basically the thing. They're actually casting other roles. Yeah, we'll see. Harrison Ford, assuming he survives until production, not to be morbid, but he
does like to try to kill himself, and accidentally. And
I'm not even like cracking a joke saying that he's that old that he could die at any point. That's not really the point I'm making. This is more a cynical point of, it feels like Disney and Lucasfilm are carting him out to play Indiana Jones again, when I'm like, just let him be retired, let him enjoy his old age, let him enjoy being a pensioner. Not that he has a pension, I'm sure he's just, you know, saved up his fortune, but let him enjoy being an old man, and they're going to force the poor man to run again. He's too old for it. Stop it. Stop it.
Boyd Holbrook sounds familiar. I'm trying to look him up.
He looks... I think he was in
Wolverine?
Logan. Not Wolverine, Logan.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's the...
That's the person I'm thinking of then.
He's the villain in Wolverine. So, there you go. Some Indiana Jones 5 casting. Does that. And then on top of that, remember how... I don't know if you were on last time, if it was Connor, but you were on one of them. There was Knives Out 2 casting, and we're back again for the third news episode in a row. Catherine Hahn from WandaVision has been cast.
Yay, and Step Brothers.
I'll take your word for it. Has been cast in Knives Out 2, joining the all-star cast. So we now have Catherine Hahn, Dave Bautista, Janelle Monáe, and Edward Norton, of course, along with Daniel Craig. And his dodgy accent, and I say that as someone who liked the film. I'm not poking too much fun, just a little. So that's cool.
I liked it too. I watched it with the director. We're friends now.
Yeah, she watched it with the director, who was hundreds of yards away on a stage.
Hundreds of yards.
Next up, Miramax has greenlit an untitled film, which comes from Kevin Williamson, who wrote the original Scream, as well as the sequels, actually, but also he was a writer in Dawson's Creek, so he's a product of the 90s as Kevin Williamson, but he's written a film for Miramax, who also released Scream and made Scream, so I guess they're hoping for some more Scream success. Gideon Adlin is going to be in it. She was in the movie Blockers. That was the comedy with all the parents trying to stop their teens from going to prom or having sex, and I saw it, so I should know better than I do, but it was only
John
okay.
Cena?
John Cena was in there, yes, John Cena. I couldn't see him though.
Ah,
yeah,
I get it.
That was a dumb joke.
Yeah.
So this is a pandemic thriller, because we're all in the mood for pandemic movies, aren't we?
Could you hear my eye roll?
I feel like I could hear it. There's not actually an audio version of this goes out yet. Maybe there should be a podcast feed, but if there's interest, I will make one. But they could all see your eye roll. I'm sure after the 3 seconds of silence, they looked over to see what was happening. See if their video had paused and just saw you with this look of like the stain in your face. That was my impression of Tyler doing an eye roll.
It's fine. It's fine. Like, I suspect we'll get a lot of pandemic movies, and brace yourselves.
Yes. The feature takes place when the country locks down due to the pandemic. I guess it's this pandemic then, it's not like I made that one. And college student Parker and her best friend decide to quarantine at the family lake house alone, or so they think. John Hyams is going to direct the screenplay by Williamson and Caitlin Crabb. Williamson also wrote the story that's based on. So he's got a story by and then a co-screenwriting credit, to be specific. They've apparently written a story that intertwines the palpable fear that we've all experienced over the past year, and merged that with their ability to skillfully amplify our unconscious anxieties by utilising the horror genre. So say it's a horror movie, don't call it a thriller. I hate when they do this. Don't call it a thriller. If it's a horror movie, call it a horror movie. But yes.
Yeah, instead it puts it into this like same category as Double Jeopardy or something.
I mean, it sounds like
Sleeping
a horror.
with the Enemy.
It does sound like a horror movie, though. It sounds like teenagers are alone at a lake house and someone else shows up. I mean, it's a horror movie.
Sounds pretty thrilling to me.
It's a horror movie. There you go. It's untitled. So maybe they'll call it Screaming.
The Lake House.
Screamers.
I hate it.
I'm trying to think of a knockoff stream title, so I can't think of it.
Maybe it'll just be like The Lake House, a Scream story.
No. Lake House from the Book of Scream.
Ooh, I like it. Book it.
Topical. All right, next up, Enola Holmes is getting a sequel officially.
What is that?
That's the Millie Bobby Brown, Henry Cavill's Sherlock Holmes' sister. It's that Netflix movie that came out last year.
Cool.
It was, would you believe it? It was middling. So, but people seem to like people on Netflix. People sorry on Twitter go nuts for some of these Netflix movies. I don't understand why. It's just like people have not grown up watching proper movies.
It's probably the Sherlock Holmes thing. Like people just automatically like it for some reason.
But anyway, so they're developing
that Sherlock series is not very good.
What Sherlock series?
The Eggs Benedict Cumberbatch one.
It started off alright. It got bad as it went on, though. But if you were meaning the Robert Downey Jr. movies, I would also agree it's not good.
I kind of like those.
So, Millie Bobby Brown and Henry Cavill are both set to reprise their roles as Enola and Sherlock. Harry Bradbeer is returning to direct, and Jack Thorne, who wrote the first film, will write the script for the sequel. So it's the whole team is back. The whole team is back to do the sequel. So Enola Holmes 2, Sherlock Harder, or whatever the title is going to be.
All right. I'm happy for the fans, the Twitter fans that you mentioned. Hope that they're happy.
Yes, mediocre. Really bad teen romance as well. And to be fair, yes, it wasn't made for me. I was not the target demographic for this movie. But still a Netflix movie through and through.
We know what those are like.
I say that with every fiber of my being. Next up, Vertical Entertainment has acquired North American rights to the medical thriller The God Committee.
Ooh.
It's about to premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival.
Is it a thriller or is it a horror?
I know you're calling back.
What?
I know you're calling back, but it feels like you're making fun of me.
No.
So it's going to release theatrically and on demand in July, 2nd of July to be specific. It is written and directed by Austin Stark, who made The Runner. I've never heard of that.
Very proud of him.
Yes. Not The Blade Runner.
Not The Maze Runner.
Not The Road Runner.
I'm out of runners.
You can't think of what I win.
I don't know these games that you've made up.
The God Committee examines today's organ transplant system through the eyes of those involved and affected by it. That's a good place to start. Moving between two timelines. In the first, a transplant committee has 1 hour to decide which of 3 patients deserves a life-saving heart. The other, set 7 years later, explores the impact of that fateful decision. Golden Globe and... I was going to say enema there. Emmy winner Kelsey Grammer, who you might know as Salads and Scrambled Eggs. Fraser Crane, because that was the lyrics to the song. You know.
I bet he's had an enema or two. So he's probably an enema winner also.
Are you a winner, or if you get an enema, or are you an enema victim? I mean, that's the question.
I mean, I think they're dumb unless they're like totally necessary for medical reasons. I don't know when it would be.
I mean, he's an older man.
Maybe if you're like really stopped up.
I mean, he's an older man, so I mean, he might have some legitimate reasons for an enema.
Yeah, maybe before like a colonoscopy, you have to get one or something. I don't know.
I can't wait to that thriller, Enema of the State. All right.
Behind enema lines.
Enema within.
Enema mine.
Sleeping with the enema.
Oh, come on. I brought up that movie earlier. It's cheating.
I'm glad you didn't have another one, because my next one was probably going to be frenemas. So, also it is Julia Stiles. Remember her when she was in things in the early 2000s? Janine Garofalo.
Remember her?
Yeah.
Where she was in stuff in the 90s?
Yeah, Mystery Men. That's basically the one thing I know from. So yeah, there you go. It's a thriller. I mean, this doesn't really tell me why it's a thriller in the premise. It gives me like a premise, but I have to assume that something isn't going to go right with the heart in the back half of the movie, or in the second timeline. And there's
what is this being released to?
Released? What do you mean?
Is this like a Netflix or Hulu?
No, this is a theatrical and VOD. So.
Oh.
Independent.
A Kelsey Grammer movie is going to a movie theater?
Yeah, and the photo of him here in the movie, he's got like a lab coat on, he's got grey hair. In fact, he's got like a wig on, because he does not have a full head of hair traditionally.
No,
I mean, he always had that kind of bald at the front, curly at the back, kind of a a bald mullet, I guess. I mean, he's got it short now, but back in the Frasier days, he used to have the long curls at the back. Yeah. Anyway, he looks very serious though. He looks very serious, and it's like a dark hallway, so he looks a little bit sinister, which makes me wonder: does the heart have a nefarious origin? You know, who did they kill to get the heart?
Came from a murderer.
Yeah.
No. Or they killed someone. Whatever.
Aye, they're both valid.
Well, that would make it more of a horror movie then.
It would, yeah.
If the heart came from a serial killer, and then that person becomes a serial killer because they got the heart of the whatever. It sounds like something you can watch on Tubi right now.
Yes. Okay, well, moving on swiftly. Production has started on a film called Evolution, not to be confused with the Dan Aykroyd, David Duchovny, Julianne Moore, Sean William Scott comedy from 2001 from Ghostbusters director Ivan Reitman. Yes, I know a lot about Evolution for some reason.
Yeah, you do.
I saw it in theaters. I guess I just remember it really well. It was sold as the Alien version of Ghostbusters, and it was watchable, but it wasn't anywhere nearly as good as Ghostbusters. So yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, it's a new drama called Evolution. So I guess this is kind of like when that weird drama with Matthew McConaughey came out a couple of years ago called Serenity, and obviously it's nothing like the Firefly movie. It's just although I'm not going to spoil it, but someone spoiled the insane twist that movie has, because it looks like a really dry drama.
Yeah, but it's got Anne Hathaway in it. Anne
Hathaway's alright. I know you've got.
Is she though?
You've got the Hatha-hate.
It's a real thing.
Yes. Is this like me with Reese Witherspoon, where I just really don't like Reese Witherspoon? Is this the same thing?
That's different. Mine is deeper.
Mine is valid and yours is stupid. Yes. Yes, okay. So Nick Ham from Driven is going to direct this, and it's going to be written by David Hutchins from Friday Night Lights. The film stars Marcia Gay Harden, who, if I remember correctly, is the really easy to hate religious woman from The Mist, to give you a... It doesn't say that here, but I think that I'm recognising her from that. Charlie Rowe, Josephine Langford, Zoe Colletti, Hannah Ollygood. That's a really funny last name, actually, Ollygood. Jim Belushi and Diane Ladd.
What are these bottom of the barrel movies that we're talking about?
Hey, Jim
Belushi.
Jim Belushi, admittedly, not whatever, but If I recall correctly, this was the Belushi that was in Twin Peaks: The Return, and he was actually great in that show. So
all right, okay. Well, I'll give it to you. It's just seems like we're on the C list here of actor movies. I thought you said we had news today.
There's news.
That's
we had
all.
we had Indiana Jones. We had Knives Out 2. We had
Okay,
plenty.
two stories.
I'm sorry that the news is not up to your standard, Queen Tara.
Thank you. Thank you for your apology.
Inspired by a true story, a young man with a bright future suffers a near-fatal accident. So Jim Belushi's playing the young man, obviously, and recreates his new life with the help of an unlikely animal friend. An accident on the lake leaves Nate quadriplegic with little hope for his future. His resilient mother, Claire, puts her art career on hold and even risking her marriage to protect her son's future. She discovers the only thing that can make a profound difference in her son's progress is providing him with an unlikely animal friend that helps the youth realize his life is still very much worth living. What is the animal? You can't tease the animal the whole time and not tell us what the weird animal is.
It's Jim Belushi, obviously.
It's Jim Belushi in like a dog suit on all fours.
Or like they just found him in the woods somewhere, so he's just covered in burrs.
Yes. There you go. We'll move on. So New Line HBO Max, producer Laura Brickford, they're teaming up to make a movie around the fact-based modern government investigation into UFOs.
Okay.
So we're going for a grounded UFO investigation movie. Bryce Cass has written the script. Based on investigative reporter Leslie Keene's journey while investigating and covering unexplained aerial phenomena for over many years, the movie will also tell the story of Luis Elizondo, who, while was the head of the Pentagon Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, AATIP for short. Rolls right off the tongue, that.
It's a pretty cool title.
And also Christopher Mellon, a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, who helped bring the previously secret Pentagon program and its official UFO videos to light in 2017. So, yeah, I mean, it could be a fun, like, based on, like, at least based on the stories. I won't say true stories necessarily, but...
Well, I mean, I'm sure these, positions exist in NASA or whatever government agency. So, yeah, could be a real grounded, real science movie with a supernatural alien element to it. Could be like Cosmos. That was fun. That was a very grounded science movie.
Did you just say it could be like Cosmos with a straight face? That's what you just said.
Yeah, I think about that movie all the time.
Oh, yes. I think about you earning your male fuzz hat and giving you your male fuzz hat symbolically.
Yeah, but we can't wear red hats anymore.
Oh, no, that's a different color. Have to be a different color, yes. The red hat has been stigmatized by Agent Orange. So,
hey, don't talk about politics on this show.
He's not political, he's a joke. There's a difference. Okay. Moving on. Next up, Russell Crowe is going to star in a film called Poker Face, directed by Gary Fleder, and this is a thriller. And I want to say this will be a thriller. Whoa! Someone just subscribed to the YouTube channel because a notification sound played. So I didn't see it on the screen, but thank you to whoever just subscribed.
All right, one more, baby. Yeah.
Well, specifically, it'll be the live Melifuzz Live's YouTube channel. Just get a subscriber. That's the one that's set up for the notifications.
Well, if you guys don't have that subscription yet, you should check it out.
But the jingle just played. It interrupted our recording, so I'm in a love-hate relationship with a new subscriber. We'll leave it there for preservation's sake. So. Yes, I assume this will be more of an action thriller, so I'm inclined to believe the thriller label here. The film is written by Stephen M. Coate, and there was another one. Something weird's going on. Why am I getting lots of notifications all of a sudden?
All right, maybe you're trending on Reddit or something.
Hopefully that doesn't happen again. I don't know. There was a glitch like a few months ago where like I started getting old tip notifications constantly, and I had to like delete every source of like the alerts so that it wouldn't play when we're trying to record stuff. So hopefully it's not that, and it's just genuinely there was two things. Although they're not on this profile, so I'm suspecting that there's actually a glitch. Hopefully we're good. Hopefully we're good. Hope it doesn't happen again. So anyway, Crowe's going to play Jake, a tech billionaire who gathers his childhood. Imagine Russell Crowe being a tech billionaire, like tech genius, like he knows tech. Russell Crowe knows how to.
I mean, he used to be able to play those types. He was kind of that type in like Beautiful Mind and Inside Man. I'm
just trying to imagine Russell Crowe building a computer and just how hilarious that looks in my head. But
I mean, it's hard to not think of him now as like the fat Russell Crowe from like The Nice Guys, who's just kind of angry and likes to hit things.
My favorite Russell Crowe, yes.
The Nice Guys, awesome film.
Yes. But anyway, he plays a tech billionaire who gathers his childhood friends to his Miami estate for what turns into a high-stakes game of poker. Those friends have a love-hate relationship with the host, a master game player / planner, and he has concocted an elaborate scheme designed to bring certain justice to all of them. Do you know what that sounds like? It sounds like that.
Sounds like Twilight Zone.
It sounds like that Twilight Zone episode where he gets them all in the bunker. That's what it sounds like.
The last pole bear.
Yeah, that's the one. Anyway, so however, Jake finds
we have the same thought.
Jake finds himself rethinking his strategy when his Miami mansion is overtaken by a dangerous home invader whose previous jobs have all ended in murder and arson. So it took a bit of it turns out to Die Hard. It starts off as that Twilight Zone episode, it turns into a Die Hard scenario.
Well, I'm into it. This sounds like the most exciting movie so far.
I'm not against it. Stop critiquing my news, okay? It's not my fault, right? The news is the news. Oh, damn it, the noise played again. Stop this! OBS! Stop this right now. Oh, man,
well, I don't hear anything except
I know you
screaming.
don't. But I'm hearing the noise, and the people will hear the noise. So
okay.
To you, I sound like I'm going crazy, but the people will hear it.
A little bit.
Yes. Next up, Mark Garden Pictures has acquired the rights to Stephen McGinty's forthcoming book, The Dive. And they're going to develop a feature film, and they've got Edward Hamming on board to adapt the screenplay. Mark Garden and Beth Pattinson are going to produce for Mark Garden Pictures. Where's the description? Based on a true story, The Dive recounts the harrowing rescue of two men trapped aboard the Pisces 3, a crippled submarine sent tumbling to the ocean floor while on a routine dive to fix the Atlantic telecommunication cable. For 3 days in the summer of 1973, the world held its breath as a hastily assembled flotilla or rescue ships from both sides of the Atlantic raced against time to bring the men back from the jaws of defeat to the sun-dappled surface.
So this happened in 1973?
The incident, yeah.
Oh, well, that sounds pretty interesting.
Sounds like a good survival movie, yeah. I'm not against the concept. I remember actually, like, I think it was in college, learning about various TV production stuff and whatnot, and just I had no idea that we literally had just some giant cables going like at the bottom of the ocean to connect the continents, because as good as satellites and wireless is, there's nothing more reliable and quicker than a cable. So there's just a big giant really like sturdy cable that goes across the Atlantic. I just think that's really funny. Because I was told a story of you know how maritime law, if you find, if you're in a ship that's just at sea, derelict, it's kind of, you can just kind of pillage it. The law is finders keepers, basically.
Yeah.
And there was a situation where when they were laying a cable across the Atlantic, something happened. I don't know what the story was exactly, but they had to abandon ship, and a vessel found this boat, and they wanted to claim it. But the problem is the cable, obviously the cable that they lay going across the Atlantic is super expensive because it has to be durable under the water and super, whatever. So it costs millions of dollars or pounds, right? And in court, they were able to argue that because it was a cable that was still connected to whatever side it left from, it technically wasn't adrift. It was actually still technically, tethered.
It's tethered.
Yeah. So therefore, they couldn't claim it, and it still belonged to whatever company or government was putting that out there. So I thought it was a fun story.
Interesting.
But the movie sounds fun. It feels like a fun survival potential movie.
Plus a period piece.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I want to say Mark Gordon was the producer on Speed. I want to say that was the same person. Yeah, I could be wrong, but there you go. So that's The Dive. Next up, Queen Latifah.
All right.
Her company, Flavor Unit Entertainment, and Jim Henson's company are developing a film adaptation of The Conductors, a fantasy debut novel by Nicole Glover. It came out in March of this year. The book introduces Hetty Rhodes, a magic user and former conductor on the Underground Railroad who now solves crimes in a post-Civil War Philadelphia. Hetty Rhodes helped usher dozens of people north with her wits and magic. Now that the Civil War is over, Hetty and her husband Benji solve murders and mysteries that the white authorities won't touch. So it's history meets fantasy story.
With Jim Henson involved?
Well, the Jim Henson company. I don't know if that means
puppets.
I don't know if that means puppets. I don't think it means puppets. Unless there's like creatures in it as well, and maybe that's why those puppets.
I mean, it sounds interesting.
Yeah,
but
it's funny because
I would have preferred if there were Muppets involved.
That the show just launched on Amazon, the Underground Railroad, the more serious take by the Moonlight director, which I am going to look at the first episode. I was meant to do it today, I didn't have time, but I should be looking at it tomorrow. So it's just interesting that this obviously more fantastical sort of take on that era of history is in the works just around the same time as we're hearing about this. So it's interesting. But hey, now admittedly, I'm not a big fantasy guy typically, so we'll see.
Except for vampires and witches and
that's more supernatural than fantasy. I do think there's a distinction. When I talk fantasy, I'm talking magic, elves, orcs.
There's magic. Witches do magic.
Witches do magic. Witches are a crossover between the two. Look, I guess I'm saying I like horror fantasy, but not other types of fantasy. Not high fantasy. High fantasy's your elves and your orcs and your hobbits and stuff like that, right? Like, you know what I mean when I say I don't like fantasy.
Yeah, I know.
You're just being for sake.
Being
Yeah.
All right. Whatever you say.
All right. Bong Joon-ho, the Parasite director, as well as other things, is going to direct a feature animated film. He's doing an animated film next about humans and deep sea creatures. He's been working on the project since 2018. Finished the screenplay this past January. It is being produced by a local tech company and producer Fourth Creative Party. So that's interesting. So he's also currently working on a screenplay for an English language film that is apparently going to be made before this animated film. So he's also somewhat involved in the Parasite TV show at HBO Max. So he's very busy. He's very busy. Parasite has made him a very busy man. Hollywood
got him.
So I think this animated film will be a Korean film. He's doing an English language film at the same time. He's doing that first. He's shooting that first.
And HBO's getting the Parasite film for all the people who couldn't be bothered to read subtitles for some reason.
Yes. Although I think with his involvement, though, it's going to be less of a straight adaptation and more like expanding it a bit. Maybe it'll start off with the same basic premise, but I feel like they're, especially if they want more seasons and stuff like that. I don't know. But yes, so he's doing an animated film next with deep sea creatures. No like plot synopsis or anything like that, but interesting enough. That brings an end to the movie stuff. We got 3 quick TV stories to tell you about. One is just kind of mildly interesting in that the CW is going against the rest of the networks here a little bit, and they're going to expand their primetime slots to Saturday, which none of the other networks do. So CW are going to have now 2 hours of primetime programming every night of the week. So they keep expanding how many shows. I mean, I figured they would add a 3rd hour to some of the nights rather than add Saturday, because Saturday, by and large, has been abandoned by American TV networks They don't put their scripted programming on Saturday nights. They just don't do it, unless it's a repeat, of course.
No, everybody wants those Tuesday, Thursday slots.
Yeah, which is funny because the UK is definitely different there. The UK absolutely will put a big thing on a Saturday night and it'll be seen as like a prestigious thing. Although it tends to be the live stuff more often than not, and even I guess that's kind of true in the US with Saturday Night Live and stuff like that. But when it's in the title,
yeah, I guess. I mean, we do live talk shows every night.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking more like more glamorous live things. Obviously, the live talk shows, the late shows, and all that are more just kind of they're more just churning through the grind. Like they're just there always.
Our big events tend to be on Sundays, like our Super Bowls, our football games in general, and the big like award shows are always Sunday.
Yeah, I mean Saturday night in the UK was definitely seen as the big TV night once upon a time. Now that diluted as like satellite and cable TV diluted like what people could watch, and then obviously these days it's completely spread all over the place.
People are just expected to go out and like to the movies on Friday and Saturday nights, so nothing really plays here. I mean, HBO will do like their premiere movie on Friday night. They always premiere a movie on Friday night, so that's kind of like the thing if you're staying home. But
yeah,
otherwise, yeah.
It's just a difference in expectation, I guess. I mean, Saturday night was a very viable TV night in the UK. I don't know if it still is. I mean, I guess it still isn't by today's standards, but obviously things have changed quite a bit because now everyone has choice. Yeah. Well, I don't even mean that. I don't mean the pandemic. I just mean, like, people don't watch regular network TV as much.
It could just be like, I don't have any shows that I watch on Friday nights, so I'm free. I can't catch my latest episode of Cheers if I go out,
Yes. What point are you making? I'm confused.
I'm saying that, like, now things are different. Like, you have options. You don't have to, like, you're not... You're not controlled by the schedule of the TV anymore.
Yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying.
I mean, there was a time where, you had to watch what was aired when it aired so that you had something to talk to your coworkers about the next day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, now it's all like, whenever you talk about ratings now, there's always the +7, which is like how many people watch it in DVR within a week and stuff like that, which adds a lot to the numbers. And then streaming services that sometimes, like, depending on the show, they might get it immediately if they have their own streaming service or something. So there's a lot of other things that go into it now, but it's just interesting that they're trying Saturdays. I wonder if it'll be the dumping ground for stuff they know is not going to do well, but they expect to do well on streaming or something like that. They'll just sort of give it the Saturday slot to, I don't know, just, like I said, dump it.
It's like a test. Like, we're not thrilled about this, but we put a lot of money into it, so we'll just see if people will find it. Yeah. We'll give it this Saturday.
Next up, Righteous Gemstones Season 2 has added some cast members. Jason Schwartzman, Eric Roberts, and Eric Andre are all been cast in the 9-episode second season of The Righteous Gemstones. Was Season 1 9 episodes? It's a really weird number.
I don't remember.
It was about that.
I think I heard this news already. Did you not already do this news?
No. I messaged you with this news because I knew you'd be interested in it when I saw it.
That's why it's familiar.
This is the first time it's been on the show. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun with
those
that.
are funny people. I'm excited.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that first season. One of the rare kind of more comedy skewing things that we've reviewed on the channel.
It was so good.
It was
we just
really,
kept going.
It was really good, and yeah. So I'm looking forward to checking out Season 2 when it hits. I'm looking forward to more Walton Goggins. I'm looking forward to. I
can't remember the girl's name, but she was definitely the show stealer.
I was going to say she's 40. I don't know if we can call her a girl, but her mentality is very much that of a 15-year-old. So, if that. I wear the panties now where it goes up your butt.
She says you're crack.
The crack, that was the line. Yeah.
Goes up the crack.
That was Yeah, that was gold. So there you go. You get some stuff. I think I can definitely see this trio fitting into this. But obviously, more than anything, I am looking forward to. Again, it's been so long I've forgotten all the names, but I am looking forward to the friend who kept letting his dick fall out.
Keith.
Keith. Keith.
The reason why I want a Time Cop poster for my place.
That's right. Yes. So there you go. And last up on the news today, Betty Gilpin from Glow and some other things is going to play Modine, joining Dan Stevens as her husband John Dean in the Starz Watergate drama Gaslit, which is also starring Julia Roberts and Sean Penn. So a bit of a big all-star cast for this. You also got Shea Wiggum in there, who's been in a bunch of stuff. We most recently saw him in Kong Skull Island. We reviewed that on the Ace. Darby Camp's on there too. So the first season is based on the Slate podcast Slow Burn, and it is currently filming in LA. Gaslit is a modern take on the Watergate scandal that focuses on the untold stories and forgotten characters of the scandal, from Nixon's bumbling opportunistic subordinates to the deranged zealots aiding and abetting their crimes, to the tragic whistleblowers who would eventually bring the whole rotten enterprise crashing down. So it's an interesting cast. I mean, historical shows based around events aren't necessarily always that exciting to me, but getting a bunch of actors who feel like they make it feel special is a start. So
yeah, and it's probably like a response to the last administration we had with lots of goings on there, that they're like, hey, remember this corrupt president that is definitely not the last president we had, but here's some parallels and what America did in response.
Didn't you tell me like
kind of a thing
20 minutes ago not to talk about political things?
This is a political show. Not our show.
Okay.
But
this TV show is a political show, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure that's what it is. It's kind of like why, Spielberg came out with the Post during the time when the, media was being told that they were fake and not to be listened to.
Yes. If something similar had happened with the most recent president, though, it'd have been Diet Coke Gate, not Watergate.
He did like Diet Coke.
That's all he ever seemed to drink.
Yeah.
He liked Big Macs. That was the other.
Aspartame.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. That's the news. That's all of it.
All right.
That was painless, right?
Yeah, that's all right.
You're not held captive against your will. Not at all.
No. I'm okay.
Why are you tugging at your ear? That's like some sort of symbol. You did some sort of...
It's itchy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm getting Katie Holmes writing Save Me in the Soup when guests are around from her deranged Scientology obsessed husband.
Yeah. My dog definitely wants to go out though. She was hanging out at the door for a while.
Yeah. Foxy was doing the equivalent of like tugging on the ear, like, hey. It's time. That's the signal.
No.
The pee must flow. Let me go.
All right, let's go.
Okay, this has been Mail Fuzz News. Thank you for joining us. You can let us know what you thought of the news stories in the comments below. Of course, you can support us by liking, subscribing. That is how YouTube dictates success. No, this is probably the crown jewel of our content that everyone should see by any means. But hey, we had fun earlier on trying to one-up each other with the enema stuff. So,
Jeez, do not take that line out of context.
This was the enema episode of Mail Fuzz News, so hopefully you enjoyed it. You can, of course, support us financially over at patreon.com/mailfuzztv for as little as $1 per month. And there's no tiers for enemas, but, never say never.
Jesus, just stop. Stop with the enema stuff. Please. Why did everything pause? Just go.
Thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Did I even finish the patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. Go there, get some bonuses. Thank you very much. But thank you once again for watching and listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching movies and TV, and I don't have an outro line for this shit, so it's very difficult to not just jump to the one thing that we've been joking about, but you've just made me promise not to do it. So instead, I shall simply say sayonara.